What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my own new review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It picks up with Drew. Drew is meeting with her video director, Rage. The last time they saw each other was around 2008 or 2009, and she was in a Young Bird video. But I remember her from being a part of Trey Songz's Last Time video, and she was already doing a lot of acting roles since that time. And she did Step Up, and Rage did not know what Step Up was. I was like, really? One of the top selling dancing movies. They made multiple sequels, but Step Up is the original one, and she was a part of the original with Channing Tatum, Jenna Dewan, and Mario. Very interesting. But either way, so she had an idea for a skating rink scene. They're scouting skating rinks for their location. They're gonna do auditions. She's gonna want the ladies to be involved in the music video. And it's supposed to be a representation of showing two different sides of her. A sexy side and the side of her showcasing her marriage. Because marriage is hard. Now, her and Ralph have been married for 8 years, and Rage and his wife have been married for 27 years. He says if you make it past the 8th year mark, you guys are cool. Foreshadowing, I don't think they made it past the 8th year mark. We're still in the midst of their divorce right now. We haven't heard anything else. So, foreshadowing. Ralph was the love interest, but Rage felt as though Ralph was not physically fit for the video. So, he might have to be recasted. So, we're going to send her pictures of different men that are toned, more ready. And Ralph was automatically in his feelings when he wasn't casted because that wasn't fair for him. But we're going to get into that later. Sanya. Sanya and Sheree do cryotherapy, which looks very interesting. It's supposed to help with inflammation, mental clarity, and Sheree and Sanya are fangirling that Rihanna shouted out Sheree from one of her favorite RHOA characters. Okay, so she shouted you out, Sheree, but did you send her any merch for shouting you out? Has anybody got any merch from She by Sheree since your website has been open? Let me know. Who else has been wearing She by Sheree besides Sheree? I would love to know. Because then you want to keep saying Candy's a hater. A hater on what? Candy has businesses. Candy executes when it comes to her business. You don't execute. Moving on. So after they do their countdown, being in the freezer, they go get heated up. Sanya is talking about Ross has been going back and forth to Austin because the business has been booming. She's not moving back to Austin. He wants the business to be now in Atlanta, but they're supposed to be having a baby, so he's not home enough for that. I'm like, you're not having a baby, okay? You're not having a baby. If he's constantly going back and forth to Austin for the business, he's not making time for the baby. There's no baby, Sanya. Please hang it up. So then they discuss Courtney's team building exercise, and it's confusing to Sanya why the rest of the girls decided to leave after Candy and Marlo had a fight. Because they don't fool with Marlo, Sanya. Like you are purposefully overlooking, not recognizing. Kenya has already had her issue with Marlo. It's not good with Marlo. She's cool on Marlo. She don't want Marlo in her life. Drew has had her interactions with Marlo before that made her look at her sideways. Manietta has had her issues and her experience with Marlo, and she's done with her. Candy is up to the roof done with Marlo. So why would they stay? Why would they stay? To be a part of anything with Marlo. Make that make sense, Sanya. I don't get it. You are literally a lapdog. It's clear as day. The representation of a lapdog is your face. Okay, moving on. So Sheree wants to plan. Yeah, Sheree wants to have an event to bring all the girls together so they can be back on a better place. Because apparently she wants to call it Let's All Be Gucci. Sheree, you're copying off Let's Be Gucci from Love Mary Huntsville? Because that me was calling her resolvement with Destiny, Let's Be Gucci, and Let Me Give You a Gucci Purse. So now you're copying off that. Sheree has no storyline this season. So now she's taking upon herself to be the one to bring all the girls together because she ain't got nothing else to do. That's exactly what Sheree's going to do. Hop on to everybody else's issue to avoid her being asked what she has going on because she's too busy being involved in everybody else's business. So Sanya's going to have a conversation with Candy before the event because she can't understand why Candy got so upset. Because she thinks that Marlo had a valid reason to get upset, but Candy didn't. And this is where Sanya is in her lapdog behavior. When you see the representation of a lapdog, Sanya's face is going to be right there because in the confessional, you think that Marlo had a valid reason and Candy didn't. Were you not listening to Marlo making it an issue that Candy wouldn't talk about her nephew getting shot, and that makes it all connected to how Marlo's nephew got killed, which had nothing to do with Candy. Her making it seem as if Candy's restaurant is the reason why there's been shootings. Not cool. How Candy did not send flowers, did not call her sister. Because I'm still on the mindset of Marlo didn't even know she had a fucking nephew. And until she found a nephew who worked for Candy, that's when it all clicked. Continuing on with being Marlo's lapdog, now she wants to place blame on Kenya and Drew for adding too much sauce on the situation, how the message got misconstrued, and now it's all blown out of proportion. No, Sanya, that is not true. There was no sauce being added, no onion powder, no garlic powder, no salt, no pepper. It was exactual, factual. Marlo got mad at Drew for not saying shooting. She said incident, yelled in her face, called her a bitch. Drew expressed the same concerns of what Marlo said to Kenya about how Candy did not give any flowers. She did not show her condolences. She didn't show her acknowledgement. That's what Candy got. All of that is what Marlo has said. She has said that. She yelled at it at the team building exercise. You couldn't even send flowers. Why did she reach out to my sister? Why did she express her condolences? She doesn't acknowledge things. Candy always sweep things under the rug. That's all she's been saying, Sanya. But for some odd reason, you're turning a deaf ear and a blind eye to the shit that Marlo says, but you just can't help it but find a problem, the inconsistencies in Kenya and Drew. But you're not looking at the inconsistencies in Marlo's story. It changes every time. Oh, I cannot, Sanya, I cannot. Oh, oof. I'm gonna move on. Here goes Marlo. She goes out with Courtney. Courtney expresses her life a little bit. She has a date, that's it. And now, what's going on in Courtney's life? Her complicated relationship with her baby daddy. I don't care. Marlo's desperation to have friends is so evident. She praises Courtney for taking the time out to listen to her, give her information about seeking a counsel, seeking an attorney to get her record expunged, her rights to her firearm back. And it's like, I've known these ladies for so many years, and none of them have come through like you have. Have you thought to ask them, Marlo? If you were so concerned about having your rights back for carrying a firearm, if you were so concerned about getting your record expunged to show that you're nothing more than a convicted felon, you're a girl who slashed a girl's face, if you wanted nothing more to take all of that back and come out with being a whole new person, why didn't you ask? Why? There was nothing wrong with asking, because Marlo, you claim as if you have so many friends, you have so many connections, but for some reason you couldn't connect with a lawyer to get her record expunged. You couldn't connect with an attorney, a legal counsel to have your rights back. You couldn't do that. You expected for everybody else to do it for you. How are they supposed to automatically know what you're going through or what you want from them if you don't talk, if you don't communicate? You just expect it. Nope. They're not going to bend over backwards the way you want them to. And when you go below the belt because you don't get what you want, now you want to look confused because the way you act. Oh God, I can't. Cause Marlo, the last time I remember you going out your way to help somebody was last season. After Sheree was publicly humiliated by Tyrone, you decided to have a pick-me-up, have a shopping spree for her, but all you did was bring your guy, your Fendi guy out. You wasn't about to buy nothing for Sheree. All you did was bring the guy, because that's all the help you wanted to do. I remember saying in my video, I'm like, you couldn't buy your friend a bracelet, a scarf or something. So all you wanted to do, all the help you wanted to help was to bring your guy here, bring your connections, but not come out of pocket. Yeah, see, Marlo, you don't show up as a friend when you want to, and you can't expect for everybody else to show up as a friend when you want them to, if they're not getting in return. Moving on. Sanya and Candy meet at OLG, and what's going on with Ty? The movie's good. Just coming from the red carpet of the piano lesson. Very good, very happy, very humbling. But then I had to come back in the hood, as Courtney would say, to be with y'all. So Candy keeping up with the same energy, that she's looking at Sanya differently because she feels like, I'm not in a good place with you. I don't know if I should fuck with you. Why shouldn't you fuck with me? I don't know, Sanya. I feel like you be riding the fence. You straddle because you play down what Marlo do, and that annoys me. So she's saying she don't want to be burned by Marlo. So you don't want to face the wrath of calling Marlo out? Is that what that is? Because Because for Sanya to say that she'll never pick and choose what kind of friendship she'll go for, she'll never put one friendship over the other. But that's exactly what you're doing, Sanya. You not holding Marlo accountable is you saying, I carry on a better friendship. I carry a stronger friendship with Marlo, and I don't want to be that close to you. Or I have a closer friendship with Marlo, and that's that on that. Be honest, Sanya. Be honest. You have a closer friendship with Marlo, and you don't want to go against her. Just say that. Because the fact that you don't want to see how Marlo wants to attach her nephew from passing away 2 years ago to Candy's nephew getting shot as the same thing, and her making assumptions and allegations that can ruin Candy's name, Candy's family, Candy's reputation is a bad thing. The fact that you don't see that is a problem. Okay? So I don't understand why you're looking as if Candy don't have a reason to look at you sideways. And how you never hold Marlo accountable. You never held her accountable with the way she slammed the door in Montetta's face. Don't care what you and Sheree says. How she was responsible and out of her mind by kicking and banging on Kenya's door, scaring her daughter. And let's not forget, Sanya, the first episode of this season, you were with Sheree when we got introduced to Courtney. Courtney had an issue with Candy, and you didn't say nothing. You allowed for Courtney to say whatever she wants to say about Candy while you didn't defend Candy. When it came down to your husband's party, Courtney had a battery in her back to confront Candy, and you allowed for it. You didn't say nothing at all. That's how she looked at you sideways from the first time, because we also found out, Sanya, y'all was taking trips together with the kids. So Candy was definitely developing a junior friendship with you. But seeing the way you've been moving ever since the show has been started, yeah, was our friendship ever real? No, it was not. No, it was not. And how she don't see the pattern. You don't see the pattern. None at all. Okay, sure. So it's going back and forth. We see Courtney and Marlo. Courtney had the right question. Why didn't you address how you felt with Candy then? She made the excuse, I haven't seen her. What you mean you haven't seen her? I heard that you saw her at BravoCon. You've been seeing her a lot lately since 2020, when you had that scene with her and you had your expressions, your emotional moment about your nephew. You've seen her since then. You've hung out. The season has come and gone. The other season's come and gone. You have seen her in the past 2 years, ever since the season has been going. And you mean to tell me not one of those times, Marlo, you've never expressed to Candy how it made you feel that Candy never fully acknowledged the passing of your nephew, when she did when you went to her house in 2020. Marlo, you convinced me, you lying. You lying. You waited until the season got started for you to now have this as a storyline. You convinced me. Now Candy, she's back with Sanya. She gets emotional. She expresses, I am not a sentimental type person. I'm not that friend. I lost my brother at 15. I have to push past that. I show up differently. I show up being the motivational friend, the supportive friend, the friend that helps you get opportunities, like she did with Marlo. I'm not that person that's emotional, that's all woo woo woo. That's not. She's disassociated with that. She's desensitized. She's detached from being emotional. Not to say she don't have feelings, but when it comes to dealing with death and loss, Candy is not there. She's not comfortable, because losing her brother was a huge loss. A huge loss. Hearing that her nephew got shot, that was something else as well, because she does look at her nephews, cousins, and nieces as her children. She keeps them so close. So that I understood Candy 100%. Even Sanya was crying. The fact that Marlo want to use this when she knows that about Candy is foul. It's nasty. It's disgusting. Now Marlo's talking about, I'm done explaining. I'm done apologizing. I'm just going to speak my mind and da-da-da. Candy is done with Marlo. Done. I'm done with dealing with her. I'm done with it all. Marlo talking about, I'm done kissing people's ass. I'm just kind of like, kissing ass to who? You just don't like the fact that Candy isn't forgiving you, and you're mad that you can't even say, why won't you just let it go? Because she can't. You saying this is something that she'll never forget. This is something that you can't take back, and you can swindle and say, oh my God, I didn't mean that. It was my fault. It was because of this. Because that's Marlo's MO. Whenever she does something wrong, it's because of her past mistakes, past trauma. I wasn't in my right mind. Bullshit. They want to call her ignorant. The girl, please look in the mirror. Please look in the mirror. Okay, you can move. So then they discuss Sheree's Gucci brunch. There was a rap in the beginning. Who wrote that for Sheree? Who wrote that for her? I'll move on because Candy is like, I'm done with all these hoes for real. Okay, Drew. Drew is rehearsing for her upcoming music video, and one of her choreographers is Richie Jackson, huge choreographer, and she isn't happy that Ralph wasn't happy that he couldn't be the leading man, but it gave me that Ralph wanted to be the star. Ralph wanted to be recognized. I mean, even the way they set up this scene of giving Ralph an intro to walk in, how he wore the right shirt, the right outfit, probably moisturized his face and everything to be the center of attention in this scene. So he said, I'm good. He hasn't seen my type, he hasn't seen my physical shape, and da 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 da. Now, when I see Drew dance, I get excited because I don't care what anybody says. Drew is an actress, Drew is a dancer. Okay, it just keeps on going back to my mind on how she was T-Boz on the Crazy Sexy Cool story when she played T-Boz. Drew is a dancer, for real, for real. Drew is an amazing actress. Do not sleep on Drew's skills, okay? Do not sleep on them. Um, the man that they had the idea to be a part of the video, he has double booked and he won't be able to make it. Now Ralph is back in, but I didn't like the way that Drew had to explain that he had to be back in after being out. And I'm just kind of like, why are you making it seem as if he's the star? He's not the star. You don't have to apologize. It's what happens. You're the one who wrote. You're the one who the song is supposed to be for. Like Ralph is just giving off the energy. He can't shine without Drew. He has to shine with using Drew. That's how it comes across. You know what I'm saying? He can't handle it. How he's might be in the background. Anything that has to be a part of Drew, he wants to come in and take over. He wants to come in and just be a part of it. He just can't let her shine without him. And when they were, dancing and everything, Ralph and Drew were giving major chemistry, okay? Major chemistry. And I'm just like, fuck, they look good. She said, we might have 99 problems, but chemistry is not one of them. Shoot, seeing the way they were like, grinding and everything, it turned me on. I'm like, I see it now. So then we have Kenya. Kenya visits her OBGYN to discuss the hormone pills she's been taking because she's had some hot flashes. That's been helpful. She's had a high sex drive lately and she's had some dick as well. But she's thinking about having another baby. So it's asking her doctor, can she have another baby? Wondering why is Kenya thinking about having another baby. She wants Brooklyn to have a playmate, somebody she can grow up with. Now, when we found out when she was going through the process of having Brooklyn, she still has a lot of embryos left, and it was put in a contract with her and Mark that if their relationship would result in a divorce or separation, the embryos automatically goes to her. But she's going to consider Mark's feelings in all of this and have a conversation with him about her using the embryos. And I don't know why she's thinking of him in that way when he don't do the same thing for her. He can't even give her the divorce. He wants to halt the divorce, refuse to sign the papers. So the fact that you want to have a conversation with him to give him a heads up is very caring of Kenya, but it's not getting her with what she wants. Mark doesn't even come and see Brooklyn. He has been no involvement in Brooklyn's life since Brooklyn's been here. And he lives all the way in New York, and he doesn't take the time out to see her. When Kenya makes an effort to go into his city, he still don't make an effort. Brooklyn hasn't had a father figure ever since she's been here. And she's only been on this earth for 2 years. That's very sad. And you want to go through the same thing by having more children by him? I hear you when you say, I don't want to have multiple children with multiple men. And I'm not in a serious relationship. Why wouldn't I consider having more children with the father of my first child? I get all that. But if Mark hasn't even been there in Brooklyn's life, what makes you think he's going to be there for the next child's life? And of course, she wants everything to go right because everything didn't go right when she was pregnant with Brooklyn. Brooklyn was a hard pregnancy for her. She was depressed the entire time, and she wasn't even sure she can carry Brooklyn to term. There's a lot of risk factors involved. She is older. There are a lot of, issues that can happen. Seizures, hypertension. You willing to put your body through that of what you witnessed the first time? Kenya's delivery was very scary. Her doctor, who's had over 30 years of experience delivering babies, said that Kenya's delivery was the hardest delivery. Kenya had a C section, and a normal C section takes about 25 minutes, but her C section took 2.5 hours. She lost a lot of blood, and they could have lost her. She isn't thinking about all the risk if she was to put her body through another pregnancy. It's a possibility she might not make it with this second pregnancy, and she could leave her daughter and another child motherless. Please don't put your body through this, Kenya. I hear you. You want to have more children? But I hear you, Kenya. But you have all these other options you can choose if you really want to move forward to having more children. But look at your age. You're in your 50s. There's nothing wrong with being a mother in your 50s. But you want to start over and have another baby when your body can't even handle it? You have surrogacy. You have adoptions. You have other ways, but I know you want to feel the pregnancy. You want to experience another pregnancy. But if your body can't handle it, it just can't handle it. But I'm going to move on. So we get to Sheree's Gucci brunch, where all the ladies represent Gucci. I'm trying to remember everybody else's outfit, but my favorite was Sanya's. I liked it, like the all white. Kenya looked beautiful, even though she brought a Chanel bag. Marlo's outfit was gorgeous. It represented who Marlo is, a snake. You know what I'm saying? It represented her spirit, her character, her demeanor, all that and then some. So Sheree wanted to make sure everything looked great. They had assigned seatings. And Sheree's in the confessional talking about she's tired of all the ladies feeding off each other and speaking for one another and cannot allow for the woman to stand up for herself, one person to speak up on their issue without somebody else hopping in. I'm like, Sheree, are you looking at yourself too? Please tell me talking about yourself, because you can't get mad that Kenya and Drew actually have a valid reason to call out Marlo when you don't have a valid reason to call out Candy, because you know the shit that Candy's saying is true. You're mad that they have a reason to call out Marlo's lies, but you can't help it. You always go for the wrong person. You always defend the wrong person. You enjoy, I don't know, like you enjoy giving toxic people a way to be more toxic. You enjoy making people feel stupid when it's like, I'm not stupid. You cannot convince me that Marlo is right. You cannot convince me that Marlo has an actual reason for the things that she does. But that's what Sheree does. Always goes for the wrong team. So when looking at the assigned seatings, all the ladies have arrived. Candy saw that Marlo was sitting next to Sanya. And she said, move that. You don't want to sit, nope, that's too close. So we switch from Marlo sitting next to Sanya to Marlo sitting next to Courtney. So Kenya, Sanya, and Candy are all on one side of the table. Cool. So they all started to order food. Marlo shaved the girls, that's what she always does. And Sheree tries to cry and act like she is feeling the way that these girls cannot get it together. I have a lasting friendship with everybody, and I don't want us to be coming at each other. I don't want us to do that. I'm like, Sheree, those are not tears, those are acid, okay? Get the fuck out of here. So she's open for suggestions for everybody to move forward. The first issue that they got resolved was Candy and Courtney. It was a petty argument over a petty issue that didn't even have to be this big. And considering that Courtney extended an olive branch of inviting Candy to the team building exercise, Candy came and she appreciated her coming, and Candy also appreciated Courtney coming outside to talk to her and see if she was okay. She did appreciate that. So they resolved their issues, they moved on, and then we have Sanya. Sanya wants to open up about feeling a way towards Kenya. She feels as though her and Kenya have been developing a friendship, but Sanya feels like it's not being reciprocated. She talks about supporting Kenya, reaching out to her, making sure she's okay, but it's not feeling the same thing. Kenya said, you know what, Sanya, to be honest, I don't trust you. Yes, you have called me, you have checked in on me, you even called me about doing press, but you was on a show that you said something that was very offensive to me. She was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy, and Andy asked her a shady question about Kenya's ass. Do you believe it's real? Do you believe it's fake? She opened up with, Marlo brought it to her attention. And as soon as Marlo brought it to her attention, that's when she kind of shifted and switched and made it seem as if, I think her butt could be a little bit tweaked. I think her butt is not actually real. Without saying it, But as soon as you said Marlo brought it to your attention, that's when you believed it. So at that moment, that's where Kenya called her disloyal. Now I know Kenya's not fully going, not being that upset that Sanya did not believe that Kenya's ass is real. We all know Kenya's ass is not real. She's had that ass for years, but that's not the point. The point is you couldn't even answer it for yourself. You had to say Marlo brought it to your attention, which means Marlo was talking about Kenya and you in another situation where somebody's talking about somebody who you're becoming friends with. You're not being neutral. You're not going along with the bullshit. But in all honesty, you kind of are. You're showing more loyalty to Marlo every single time, even when she's wrong. And she be dead wrong, versus then you showing loyalty to Kenya. Like you didn't even show loyalty to Candy. So she wants to act stupid and say, well, how do I know? Did you tell me it's real? Did you tell me it's fake? How do I know how to answer the question? Just say that. I don't know if her butt's real, but she look good though. Simple. There's 10 million ways you could have avoided answering the question without being messy, without being shady. And that's what you chose not to do. And then, of course, you still believe that Marlo had a valid reason to get upset at Kenya for not acknowledging her nephew's death when she did. Make that make sense, Sanya. That's why they call you fake. That's why they don't trust you. Then, Kenya said, we're going to have to work on the trust to see if you can earn it. And I wasn't mad that Kenya had to put it out there. I need to see how you move. And it's quite good that she need to see how you move because, Sanya, you be moving foul. You be moving fake. Because Kenya is still probably looking at you sideways from last season when, again, you co-signed and tried to speak for Marlo when Marlo had that trip. Her and Kenya were going back and forth in the driveway. You went over there to not check on Kenya, but to tell Kenya what Marlo meant to say, what Marlo wants her to understand, and Kenya shut you down, shoo you away. Always act like everybody don't be 100% when you don't give 100%. Just like how you did with Drew. You found one little inconsistency that nobody knew about. You wanted an audience, and now you just have an issue. Like Sanya be missing me with this. So now we're going to continue on. Sanya brought up, where does Candy and Marlo stand? Candy over it. She done. You know what I'm saying? And when Marlo tried to talk, I'm loving Kenya's facial expressions because she's lying through her teeth. And how I cannot respect someone who doesn't like me. And I can't expect anybody to like me. I can't make nobody like me. Kenya said, how can you make somebody like you if you're already attacking them? You're always attacking somebody, so how can they like you if you're always attacking them? That doesn't make any sense. It's hilarious to see Marlo act as if she is a woman of a heart of gold when she's giving bullshit. And that's what Kenya was coughing up. She was coughing up the bullshit that Marlo was giving. And Sheree ain't no better. She's going along with Kenya's act. And it's like, you see, Sheree ain't no friend either. You ain't got no real friends in this game. Candy said you would not be happy if your name was attached to a murder. And Marlo was about to lie again because she says, I did not bring it up. Drew brought it up. But you know why? Because you wanted someone to bring it up. But then you got mad at Drew for not saying shooting and not going harder on Candy to talk about it. Please be honest. You're mad that Drew took a sensitive approach to a sensitive situation and you got upset about it. She told you back at the winery, I am not about to make someone getting shot a moment. I am not about to do that. So we're seeing the lies. I'm loving Kenya in the background with the tiny violin because Marlo is just lying through her teeth. Everybody is jumping in to call out her lies, and I am here for it. I'm here for it. I was here for the entire time. Kenya and Drew calling out Marlo. I loved it. Saying how nobody will let me talk because we're not going to allow you to talk, Marlo, because you're going to be lying. That's why. We're not going to allow you to lie. You're not going to finish lying. You can miss me. Sheree wanted Kenya and Drew to stop talking because they feel like Kenya can never speak for herself, never can have a conversation by herself. Sheree, miss me. You're in the confessional right now talking about how Kenya and Drew are constantly licking Candy's ass. Girl, are you serious right now? So Marlo want to act stupid. What did I say that was so bad? You got mad that she didn't send flowers. You got mad that she didn't call your sister. You want to make it an allegation or make it like Candy's restaurant is a target for crime and death, which is wrong for you to do. Making it seem that she never acknowledged you for your nephew's passing when she did, when you came over to her house. Then you want to say what type of friend Candy is? What type of friend are you, Marlo? Back to my point. Sheree talking about how Kenya and Drew are Candy's ass lickers, ass kissers. Sheree, you're the main one who wipes, licks, and kiss Marlo's ass every time. You think Kenya and Drew are falling behind blindly without having an actual issue with Marlo, having a reason to not give in to Marlo's bullshit? They do. They do. And you know it. You look even stupid defending it. All that plastic surgery from your face has seeped into your brain. So Marlo gets up because she's not getting what she wants. She's not getting the audience. Talking about Kenya is disrespectful because she called her a bottom rung bitch. Bottom rung bitch, go on the bottom rung. That's exactly what it is. Talking about how you can't be around somebody who's so disrespectful. Please look in the mirror, ma'am. That's why nobody want to be around you. Because that's what you always do. You go below the belt, they call it out, you get upset, and here you are. You're in a space where they're calling you out on your bullshit, and you can't handle it. Walk away. Who follows her? Sheree. So Candy and Kenya can read Marlo like a book. They know it, okay? They know where she's coming from, why she's coming from, and it's like that's what we're not gonna do. Whenever Marlo throws a fit, whenever she does bullshit antics, she always wants to say it's her trauma. She was angry. This was in her feelings. I ain't got time for it. And y'all calling out this behavior, y'all co-signing on this? You support this? Even Drew had to ask Courtney, do you support this? She said, I'm just a friend to her. I'm cool with her. She ain't done nothing to me. That's not my issue. I'm staying out of it. Good answer, Courtney. Good answer. So Marla comes back and says, I am not trying to blame my nephew's murder on you. The problem that I have is that my family felt the way that you didn't call. Marlo's lying again. So your family expressed that Kenny didn't call. And when it came to your attention, you said, okay, she didn't call. What you want me to do? But in 2020, you told her about your nephew passing. You're saying she didn't care, but she did. She hugged and consoled and understood how you felt. You're a liar. Courtney and Drew had to go to the bathroom. They got weak bladders. Marlo again tried to switch up the conversation and says, if the same thing happened to your nephew, I will be at your door. She thought that when she expressed her nephew's passing, it would have brought her and Candy closer, but it drew them apart. Because of the way you went about it, though, Marlo. That's why. Here goes Sanya, being Marlo's spokesperson, trying to explain it. And Candy said, you don't need to be her lawyer right now. I don't need you to be her lawyer. And then she gets upset by saying, you're focused on the wrong thing. That's not the wrong thing. That's not... Sanya, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Stop. And that's when Candy said, fuck her. Fuck her and those flowers she was expecting to get. Period. Period, Sanya. Period. I don't know why you getting mad at Candy or feeling like why you jumping down my throat, because you're trying to speak for her as if she's not right there. Anything you saying to me right now, I don't believe you because they're not coming from her. She's lying right now. You're trying to make it sound better. It's pissing me off. Get out of my face, Sanya. And this is where Marlo's security comes in. Talking about Candy is selfish, she's spoiled, she's privileged, she's a different breed. All those things that Marlo wished she had growing up. She wished she had a mama who was there for her. She wished she had some talent to make a name for herself instead of getting on her knees, bulking millions out of old white men. She wished she had that, but you don't. You don't have that. You don't know how to be honest. You don't know how to be transparent. You don't know how to be respectful. You go the ugly route. And when you go the ugly route, you get called out. You call out somebody's pain and hurt, and when it's done to you, you get mad. Nobody's giving you the satisfaction of allowing for you to have a moment, have an issue, have a woo, because we don't give a fuck. And that was the end of the episode. I believe it's going to get even more explosive next week. But yeah, Marlo, Sanya, and Ken got on my fucking nerves. Sanya, you are the spokesperson of an asshole. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.